Puffy has been bringing in cash off of Big Deal's name for longer than enormous hawks, alive assume command over your don't. It's such a lot of entertaining in this game, man. I think someone is attempting to kill me. I'll be awakening neurotic, not exactly frightened. I simply need influence. I was offered 30,000 bucks to play out a hit on Big Deal. Small's Big Deal's passing has been north of 10 years. And the secret behind the end of the wrapper is yet to be disclosed. Yet another insight concerning the thing Big Deal said about Diddy before he kicked the bucket has made fans keep thinking about whether Diddy contributed to the troublesome end of the wrapper. Continue to watch to realize more. It has been accounted for that individuals near both Diddy and Big Deal know a portion of the dull insider facts, encompassing Big Deal's passing first Panther right raked over the coals on what Diddy might have added to the downfall of the renowned rapper. As per the Randy vocalist, Diddy took advantage of Big Deal far more than any maker. And this might have brought about his ultimate conclusion to end Biggie. Then a commission should emerge, and that should be his exit from Terrible Kid. And afterward, beginning his own organization, Little Dog, has been bringing in cash recorded all the Terrible Kid. I guarantee again in the meantime, Diddy's previous guardian Eugene Bargain accepts Puff is answerable for the famous large as profundity. He uncovered Diddy in a meeting with MREC Television. He needed him and his sibling Unit to put Huge and Wolf on an elevated screen and tell the world the amount you love me, when as a matter of fact you never really saved the arrangement, who was once the head of safety at Terrible Kid, asserts how about we think back on that evening when we were at Andrew Harrell's home, and I let you know that these felines were coming to kill us, or attempt to get at us that evening. I let you know. I had intel, yet you would have rather not heard it. We should think back on the way that I told our driver, Kenny Rundy's next 3 lights, run the lights. Kenny ran the light being halted at the light. Huge winds up dead. Was it implied for him, Brian, in all arrangement? Clarified that Diddy and Big Deal weren't best of companions in the event, that you were pondering who a portion of the outsiders he referenced are Wolf is Anthony Wolf Jones, who was the protector for Diddy during the 1999 occurrence, where Diddy and Sparkle were blamed for shooting up a Manhattan club. Tragically, Wolf was unalive 4 years after the fact beyond an Atlantic club, in an apparently irrelevant episode. And clearly Diddy didn't make things right, with Wolf's family miserable later in the video. Bargain likewise blames Diddy for having his security group track down individuals to affirm against Sparkle in the dance club shooting, which brought about Sparkle getting 10 years. Well, this isn't whenever Bargain first has told his record of Big Deal's passing, and it presumably will not be the last. As per Drifter, he likewise addressed the LAPD about a large number of its happened. The magazine proceeded to say that Diddy cut Bargain lows by then, since he was conversing with the police. Curiously, a protector named Uncle Ron additionally blamed Diddy for offering him 30,000 bucks to Unilive Big Deal. Yet he declined, and presently every bit of relevant information is out. I was off at 30,000 bucks to play out a hit on Big Deal Smalls. Yet while Diddy thought Bargain was the only one let on him, no, this isn't. Whenever the finger first has been pointed at him, the Los Angeles Police Division may have tackled the homicides of rappers Christopher Big Deal, Smalls Wallace, and Tupac Shakur. As per a narrative highlighting resigned LAPD analyst Greg Kading, who once drove an extraordinary team that explored those 20 years age-old shootings. In view of his 3 years working the cases, Katie claims that scene Diddy brushes employed Crips gangster Dwayne Keith, Kempty Davis to unalign Shakur, and his supervisor Marion Hughes suit this evening for $1 million. Isn't that crazy? As per him, the evening of Sept 7, 1996, Kefty's nephew, Orlando Childpath Anderson, pulled the trigger, yet Shakur was fired in the meantime. Katie charges that in reprisal, Knight employed Blood's gangster Wardle Pochi Faust to kill Big Deal Smalls for 13,000 bucks. Sadly, Big Deal Smalls was shot to his destruction on Walk 9, 1997. Only a half year after Shaker died. Well, throughout the span of examining Keating, says that he basically kept D into a circumstance where he needed to give an unquestionable admission about the occasions that prompted Shaker's homicide, or probably face serious allegations for one more wrongdoing, assuming his expectation was to simply pull off it. So did Top. Keating told HuffPost. It would have been exceptionally simple for him to exclude every one of the subtleties that he did. These additional subtleties, as per the narrative, incorporate the claim that nearby saved D for the wrongdoing. Really, the rundown continues to go. The narrative named Murder Rap initially debuted in 2015. In light of Keating's 2011 book of a similar name, it's accessible on iTunes now, and will go to Netflix in the spring. This narrative just turned into a reality on the grounds that the LAPD relegated Katie to reinvestigate the rapper's homicides in 2006, not long after Big Deal Little's mom, Valletta Wallace, sued the office in government court. Wallace's unfair passing claim fixated on a famous paranoid fear that the police concealed an official's contribution in her child's homicide, like misfortunes at $500 million in view of Big Deal Little's procuring potential. It was Keating's errand to refute the hypothesis placed in the suit alongside numerous others twirling around. Katie claims that once his group tracked down sufficient proof to vindicate the LAPD, the reinvestigation of the homicides was basically dropped in 2009. The division took Keating off the team because of an inside undertakings examination on a different matter. However, he was in the end gotten in the inward matter the picture free from a rebel COP stock. So they do their similar to a prove sorry that you will be sidelined on the grounds that this is an extremely high-profile case, and we needn't bother with it being spoiled anything else. Then it as of now is no a result of all the is they're like, well, better believe it. And eventually it turned out the claims were garbage against me. And yet clearly, and like any Rouge cop, Katie didn't stop in truth. Throughout his 25-year policing, Katie got the Laps decoration of boldness and its police star for courageous activity. He likewise accomplished the most elevated positioning for a specialist that the LAPD gives. In 2010, he resigned from the division. The following year, he distributed his book about the rapper's case. And his eager Katie currently asserts that the LAPD decided not to seek after proper charges for the situation due to Brush's BIP, and on the grounds that the proof highlighted two executioners who were at that point expired. Anderson and Faust have both passed on from evidently inconsequential causes, albeit the LAPD offered no remark about Keating's cases or the narrative when reached by HuffPost. The general population realized something was off-putting in 2010, preceding Keating's book came out. Public broadcast have DJ JoJo shocked Brushes with inquiries regarding Big Deal Smalls murder. Holmes replied, as though he apparently had some information on what had happened, proclaiming those a road gives unavoidably coals, informed Low week after week that Keating's cases for unadulterated fiction and totally crazy tating obviously differs. You need to accept you are sufficient examiner to adapt to the situation. He told HuffPost. He said he had been decided for the team because of his involvement with POS-related and opiates violations alongside cool case manslaughters. Yet the work finished before any suspects were brought to court, and from that point forward the case has developed significantly colder, as extra individuals who would have known something about the rapper's killings have either been unalived or missing. Tragically, Keating's cases seem improbable to at any point go to court, that is, except if he's sued by one of the blamed. For example, Brushes or Knights. I think no judicious individual anticipates getting sued, Katie said, giggling. Yet on the off chance that I did, I wouldn't avoid it. I'm extremely positive about the case. I'm certain about the proof. Meanwhile, he's putting forward his cases straightforwardly to individuals. Keating's book closes with these words: perhaps this story could never hold up in court, yet perhaps it will hold up in the court of popular assessment you choose in spite of. Or maybe due to the high-profile nature of the charge, the narrative struggles with getting conveyance and press. As per producer Mike Dorsey, I believe it's one of the 10 greatest stories in and hip jump of the whole year. And it's consistently finished quiet in the hip bounce media world, said Dorsey. Katie had comparative disappointments with his 2011 book. It was initially composed for a significant New York book distributor. Yet that distributor ultimately ended the $250,000 agreement. The distributing house told HuffPost the agreement was dropped for legitimate worries. Katie wound up independently publishing the book. While everybody thought the book and the narrative will help the examination, the story has still gone no place. It's been the most terrible kept secret in Compton. Dorsey said of Rhythm claims, yet fortunately the narrative is getting more extensive circulation. They recommend that perhaps another person who was engaged with the case could approach with more proof to substantiate Katie's renunciation. There's still a few remaining details that ought to have been tended to by policing the previous criminal investigator. Yet I don't see that occurrence. I don't see them proactively exploring these cases at any point down the road concerning himself. He said, I have